The old rectory. The old Episcopal rectory, yeah.
To the north?
South, no,
South.
east, going towards,
Okay.
yeah, going out,
Just
going
south.
east, yeah.
We'll try to get to all of them.
Well, that should be, before you leave this earth, that should be your goal before you leave the earth, to do every house that needs
I love
repair.
it.
Well, my retirement plan is that. Oh, we're
And-
gonna die.
Laura's ready to make the donation for 2020-20.
I'll make the motion to approve 2020-20.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
It'll be good to have you back in the neighborhood.
I'll be back again. Seems like between here and 133rd and 141st Street, it's like I work nowhere else.
I'm sure Mark will be at it.
What year did you come to Berlin?
I didn't, I actually came to, well, you know me, but you don't know me.
Okay, I'll leave that one.
Your husband's a lawyer, right?
No, that's my brother-in-law.
Oh, your
We're the
brother-in-law.
landscapers.
Oh,
We're the
okay.
war companies. He's the
Oh,
lawyer.
Dan.
Carol is, yeah.
I just broke Danny's truck in half once.
You did? Did you work for us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Right
my
out-
God, everybody in Worcester County worked for Morris South
Right
Bar,
out of high
right?
school. My mom and dad used to own Stardust Motel in Ocean City.
Okay,
I've only been here, I'm kind of new here, I've only been here 53 years.
okay, well, you are a newcomer.
So,
I've
Carol
already been here
accept you.
53 years too.
There you
I
go.
see my brother worked for his parents.
Okay, the hotel, okay, so.
Everybody knows me.
That's cool.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and Dan, you know, we always see Dan, he would take you these jobs all the way, I mean, we're talking
Cambridge, were you doing Cambridge?
Centerville
with
and all these places.
them? University of Maryland,
We went
Wheaton
all
High
over the
School.
I only lasted there a few months.
Well, it was hard work.
Well, I didn't have to, because I was smart enough when I got there, I got to use the forklift.
Oh my gosh,
So I didn't
okay.
have to lace out, I just had to use the equipment.
25 pounds every piece aside.
Yep.
That'll get you in
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah, well, I'm in shape now, but it's not the right kind.
Well, in the
So-
day that we used to get us Salisbury kids that played on the football team, wanted to get work out for the summer, that went out the pass.
Well, that's like right now, we have, I have 34 employees. And
Oh, dear God in heaven,
we can't keep up.
yeah.
Yeah, if I
And,
could,
well,
I
you're
could-
lucky, we can get people to get employees, that's.
Well,
great.
I have 6 Americans and 29 Mexicans that are already, it was funny, because I asked them one day, I said, all right, I want to see all your papers, are you guys legal? And they said, well, we
You
were
read
born
speech,
here,
man.
we all graduated Stephen Decatur, I said, you speak English? They said, we went to Stephen Decatur, we don't know whether to speak English or not, so. And they did, they give me all, most of them didn't have papers because they are naturalized citizens.
Wow, aren't you
They
fortunate?
were born here, so we were lucky, so. Pay them a little
They're
bit
your
more
hard
money.
workers.
They are, they work 7 days a week,
Absolutely.
more than I want to work, so.
Thank you.
All right,
I would tell
thank you.
Danny, I ran into a former employee when he gets home.
Yeah.
Michael?
It's been 40
I bet,
some years ago. It's been a long time ago.
yeah.
So, did you
He's
get your
still
window
working.
fixed?
Excuse me?
Did you get your window fixed?
What they did was,
You'll never remember.
we're gonna put the thermal paint
Danny,
on the
I don't
outside to
remember.
protect the
Oh,
stained
really?
glass.
I thought it was glass on the outside.
Right,
I
right,
heard
inside.
people say, Mr.
Then on the
And
inside.
so what they
Change
did,
that.
what happened, like when windswept rain, it would leak through the leaded glass. So
Right.
only once in a blue moon. So
Right.
what they did was,
The bad ones.
they took the trim off and they took some of the siding off and rewrapped it.
Right.
Then we had.
And then, put everything
Carol?
together, they just
Carol,
smeared it out.
this is recorded.
Come on.
I
Then you put the glass in.
understand. Next on the agenda, we're going to
Michael,
have
thank you.
All right, thank
our
you.
ci-
Good night,
our
thank
city
you.
Good night.
administrator, Jeff Fleetwood, is going to come in and talk to us about what we've been talking about notifying people when they buy in the town, about our
Alright.
ordinance and everything. So, Jeff, if you just want to sit, whatever you want, wherever you want.
Can you all hear me from here?
Yes,
Okay.
uh-huh.
All right, so Dave, Ingard, and I have had, we spent a couple hours on this. I'm not gonna say we spent countless hours, but we spent a fair amount of time. Dave reached out to entities outside of Worcester County as well as Worcester County. I'm talking about regulatory entities, find out what other organizations do. One thing that would probably be ideal is when, you think about the big picture, somebody comes into town, well, let me back up. The scenario that I want to give you, let's hypothetically, let's go on a trip together. We live in Kansas, okay? I graduated Stephen Decatur High School. My best friend is a realtor in the state of Maryland. I live in Kansas. We come back here, I see a home in the historic district. I like it. I call my friend up. from Kansas and say, I want to buy this house. Okay, my best friend sells me the house. Somebody has an obligation here to share that that home is in that historic district. My best friend sells real estate over in Baltimore, okay? So they go into the MLS system and all that good stuff. I think we all know this. If you go take a look from the realtor's perspective, all that stuff's supposed to be checked off. Does it happen 100% of the time? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So we'll bounce around a little bit. I think what needs to happen, and you guys talked about it prior, and I think it needs to be done again and again and again with the Coastal Board of Realtors to make sure that they understand that they're doing that protocol. So from our perspective, what I think, it's not 100%, but I think it's 90+% accurate. Johnny comes into Berlin, Johnny buys a house. Johnny's got to do something with that house if he or she's going to live in it. That means they need to come in to town hall and establish a utility account. So either they're going to come in and establish that account before they bought the home, you know, maybe the day prior, or the day of, or potentially a day after. And when they come in, they're going to establish that utility account. When that happens, what Dave is going to do is provide the ladies downstairs basically a street map, any addresses that are in this radius, they're in the HDC. So if they establish a new account for Sally, they're going to say, ma'am, you are in the historic district. Yes, I know that. And then there's going to be that 1 out of 10 again that says, what do you mean? What is that? What they're going to do at that time is have a form that the homeowner's going to sign saying that they've been informed that their home is in the historic district. They're going to be told to go to the planning building to see Dave or Carolyn. Dave and Carolyn are going to give them a packet that says, these are the do's and don'ts, and yada, 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 as it relates to the HDC. They're going to acknowledge that as well. Have a nice day. Then they'll be able to see you when they want to put the new fence in the windows. I think that's a simple, it's simple, but it won't catch that 100%. You know, if that person buys the home on the first of the month, and, 30 days go by, it's going to catch them in the end. When I say catch them, inform them in the end. But I can be creative and think of ways that the actual homeowner may not be the one that's establishing the account, but I think this catches the overwhelming majority with another opportunity to have that information.
And the prospective homeowner should be aware that what the historic district is about, we're more concerned about the exterior of the house, not the interior of the house. Maybe some.
That would be the packet of information that they
should be
provide.
that would be in a packet, because you don't want to, scare anybody away, saying, oh,
No.
it's the whole property,
No, we're gonna give them the section of the code.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna give them.
Perfect.
And,
Yeah.
and the form they're gonna sign says, I acknowledge, that I've been
Yeah.
informed that the,
My property is.
yeah,
historic district of Berlin.
200, Main Street is in the historic district, and I have been furnished the packet for the historic commission by the
That's
planning
perfect,
department.
yeah.
And then that form, then after it's signed, that'll go in the property file, which, is everything we know of what we have about the
I
house.
think it's a great step.
And so and those are already color coded. Years ago, before my time here, Carolyn had come up with a system. Anything that's in the historic, if you went in our file cabinets, they're in orange folders, the property folders. Every other house in town are in green folders. So we know that's in the historic district when we're thumbing through them. And that affidavit they sign will be in there with the house file, with the property file.
And I've arranged, it's been done, the Coastal Association of Realtors has a specific link on their website about the Historic District Commission, and it also has our code right
But
there.
the problem is, don't sugarcoat this.
No,
The problem remains, I'm in Kansas, my best friend's a realtor in Baltimore. He ain't going into the coastal board, he's not doing that. He's going into the MLS system. So, there's opportunity to fail at this is what I'm getting at. And I'll share with all of you, I'm giving you a reality check on life. In my younger days, in my 21 years of traveling the country and the world, I bought homes in multiple states, and I can tell you that I consider myself a little intelligent. I didn't say a lot, a little. And when I bought homes, I read the closing documents. And, you know, before you sign all those documents, you know, that Bible of paper, I've asked the questions of a realtor before, does this own this? Does this own that? And I get told, no. And then when I'm at closing, I've actually caught stuff that I wasn't told, so buyer beware, it was on me. And I got burnt one time. I'm just telling you that personally. So I can understand where you're coming from, but I also want to speak on behalf of potential buyers. Most buyers are going to buy a home with a realtor here in the area. I think we know that. But there's still that possibility from the outside.
Well, I
Dave,
want to
may I-
thank you and Dave for taking the time. I think it's a terrific idea. Does everybody else have any questions?
I just have a question for Dave. Remember when we had that meeting a couple years ago with the putting together the guidelines? Did they ever put into the website the guideline manual? All of us have a manual because I gave each one of us one, and you have one. But I put everything on a thumb drive, or maybe you could put it on the website so anybody can read
It
it.
hasn't been yet, but we still have to do it.
And it has a list of all the
I still have your
homes.
thumb drive, it's right on the top of my desk.
It has all the list of all the homes that's registered with in Annapolis, and there is like a WO and a number. It gives you and every time like an application comes up for us, and it's a historic home, the first thing I do is I go into the book and I look to see the address and I find it, and then you just click on the that particular file and you got a PDF file that shows everything about the history of each house. I presented a few of some of the people that came here in the past. I could have done that today with Mike with that house too, but I didn't think about it. But it would be, if you put it on a website, anybody can access it. Now, this information is available because anybody can go to the website in Annapolis where it's all registered and pull down these. That's how I got it. You know, you just pull it right down.
Let's talk reality for a second. And again, I'm not arguing with anybody in the room. I'm just sharing from personal experience. You take a 70-year-old person that moves here and they like the house down here on South Main Street. They like the house. They go buy it. They don't ask the question. They don't understand.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay, so let's be real. I buy the home because it's old, it's quaint, I want an old home. I want radiator heaters, you know, I like that. It's cool. But then, you know, 6 months after the fact, I want to put new siding on the home. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I mean, that's reality. So.
What I was talking about was mostly reference for us.
For
not
you,
so
yes.
much, not
For
so
you.
much for the prospective buyer.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still think that what's been suggested here this evening will catch, I shouldn't again use the word catch, but inform the overwhelming majority of people. And you know, here in town, I don't know if I shared this in one of the other meetings, just personal experience over the last 18 months. You get a homeowner that is concerned. I'm going to give you a classic case, and I may have done this already. Got an issue with a ditch. Okay, what's the first thing we do? What's the first thing you would do if you had an issue with a ditch? You're gonna come see somebody in town, what's the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go see him and say, who does this ditch belong to? Right? It might be the railroads, it might be the towns, it might be whoever. When I learned that it belongs to the individual, and you go to the individual and say, it's your ditch, you bought it. What do you mean I bought it? Here's your plat, here it is in your closing, here's it in your documents, you bought it, that's your signature. Oh, I didn't know. That's happened more than once in the last 18 months with me here.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't be surprised.
It's common.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jeff,
Yeah.
and thank you, Dave. I'm very grateful. I know everybody else is well, we're going to try this, and I think it'll work. Now, Dave, would you please go ahead and inform us on all the things that you want to tell us about? You talked to us about the house on Main and Washington.
Yeah, I have, that's just because it came up in his
Okay, is
presentation.
there
That's-
anything else that you have?
No, nothing new. No.
Okay, all right.
Carolyn?
Okay, anybody on the board have anything?
I had questions about properties that I think look dilapidated on Main Street.
Go right ahead, please.
The Art in the Fields,
Where?
the Art in the Fields building. They had those they've got the benches all pushed down. Kids are just riding skateboards across that weird
Is that right
sidewalk.
uptown?
It used to be like that doctor's office, like that.
Oh, okay, and the
medicine.
couple came here, we're gonna do fine art.
Yes.
Okay,
And then they
missed
put
that
all
name, art
those
in the field.
potted
Okay, it used to be the
plants around
gas
it.
station, right, Carol? That area, wasn't that a gas
Way,
station?
way back,
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
back.
something.
I was
Okay,
just
What are you
wondering, like,
talking about?
who owns that and what's going on
right next
with
to
it?
Treasure Chest, it's not Treasure
Oh,
Chest now.
okay.
Do we use it?
What is it
No, it
now?
looks like it's shut down.
Dreamweaver.
No, no.
Dreamweavers,
I was just
Dreamweavers,
wondering.
that's the building there Gail Lewis has.
Like, it's kind of shut down and now it's just become a haven for skateboarders.
I see that.
You're talking about the art gallery next door?
Yeah, she says that.
But all the Main Street has, right, you know, so.
Oh, I have a big problem with it, but, that and also the dance studio building. Like, I just walk by these places and they're just, that's so dilapidated. Like, the signs on it are just
Who owns those,
missing.
Dave?
Yeah,
You
who
know,
owns
off
that
the top
dance
of your head?
studio?
I don't know the name, but
Is it
it,
somebody locally that owns a lot of property?
they're leased, the spots are leased.
Yeah, they're
There is-
leased.
There is
But the
one
owner is responsible for the building.
That's
But
right.
those buildings are so, they're both so let go, and they're main buildings on the main,
Did the couple move out of town to bought, we're gonna put that fine art in there? I can see them in here talking to us about the planters.
Well, that's what she was just
Are there health
talking
hazards related to the
about.
building?
well, like, that's just the weirdest setup of that sidewalk that goes up to that building, because it looks like someone could get hurt on it.
Well,
If
the
one of those
reason why I'm asking that, because if there's something related to a health hazard or a risk to a pedestrian or something, or the general
Well, the
public, then
trees
maybe
were
an
there, I
issue could be
think,
made
so
out of
that
it.
people didn't trip. But then they let them go, they were always sideways or,
Yeah. I wonder if they moved out of town or just closed their business, or, I never
no,
saw.
I was just curious.
Dave, do you know if it still operates? I haven't seen
Yeah,
it, it's
it's-
been for a
yeah.
while.
I haven't seen it be open in quite a while.
No.
Couple years?
Yes, like a long time.
Yeah, a couple years at least.
Okay.
I
Dave,
don't know. but-
Dave, if you wouldn't mind,
Research that one. On Main
the
Street.
building, the dance studio, when
Yeah.
you get an opportunity, just
Yeah,
write down what, and just, I can get you, well, you can do the name and address, and
Yeah, I
just
got
send them a letter and we'll see what.
Mhm. Been brought to our
Goes from
attention,
that.
blah,
Yeah,
blah.
both of those buildings are very unkept,
okay.
but that was it.
Yeah, because the,
Looks like a skateboard park, as you said, Carol, getting to be with the kids.
well, you know, the skate, it's very, you know, it's very
I don't mind
annoying.
seeing kids playing with their skateboards. I mean, I'd rather see
But
them do
not in the
that.
middle of the street. I've
No,
almost.
that's not a
actually,
problem.
yesterday when I was driving home, they were
Right.
actually jumping off the curbs and coming right
Oh,
across Main Street.
yeah,
God forbid a car
that's what
didn't
they
see
do
that.
out
Right in
there.
front of them.
They are out there,
Having
it's such a
Friday,
problem, but I've been
around
calling
Main
the
Street, but they
police.
jump right in front of the car.
Jan
They're all
Jan
right
and I
in
would
front of
like to see part of
The
Heritage
town,
Park.
the
turn
town
into a
code
skate
doesn't
park.
allow
Yeah,
them
they
to
need
skateboard
to
on the
put
street
it
or the
next
to-
sidewalks.
Yeah.
But see, nobody tell me, it's
Call
not.
Well, you know
police.
what, you know what the worst part is? All summer, because of COVID, the Atlantic has had outdoor seating. They use that as their stage. They just go along, you know how they pop the wheelie and ride on the back wheel? They do that all the time, and it's just for showing off in
They
front of
like
other
people to look at them, which is kids. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, well,
yeah.
they're probably, I mean, it looks like they need attention, I don't know.
I
because
had
that's what
need
they're-
a
been
place-
around Friday
they need a
night by
place
Green
to
Tree
ride
off
their
North Main, and this
skateboards.
young child, and I swear, I thought, what is he doing out this time of night? 4 years old, this on a skateboard, tiny.
It's
I came-
Malachi, he's that little, he's older than he.
Oh, is he mixed race child?
Yes,
tiny,
it's
very
Malachi.
sassy.
Very
I
sassy.
dropped my heart was in my throat. It was right in the car. I couldn't see him, and I said, "Get out the street." Then I felt badly. He came around the street and said, "You know why I hollered at you? You kids are going to get killed." He said, "You don't like me, and the policemen in Berlin don't like me." I said, "No, the policemen don't want you to get killed." And he was
Right.
with this older girl. I said, "Is this your brother?" She said, "No, we're friends." I said, "Does he have a family? Does anyone tell him that these children have got to get out of the street?" And now that the police station is gone, he said, "Well, that policeman back there just told me told me off. I said, no, he's trying to save your life. So, but it is a problem right now. One of them's gonna be flat as a pancake. And we all
Yeah.
said we
Yeah.
knew it, so.
He's like the worst one that goes out in front of the cars and stuff,
Yeah.
I think.
How old is that little boy, you think?
I think he's probably like 12.
Oh, you think? Is he a midget or?
I don't know, he's very petite.
Oh, he's down, okay.
Maybe he's
Well,
only
He
10,
had a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
mouth on him.
He's adorable, but
Yeah. He's
Well,
got
they
some mouth
just, they need a place they need a place where they can do it.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could
Yeah.
take a portion of Heron Park and
Well,
turn
I'm
it into a
hoping-
skate park or
I-
something like that?
I'm
Make use of
certainly
that land?
hoping,
they
yes.
won't go, that's too
Yeah.
far away from them.
Yeah, they
They
live
live
around
there.
But it's
town.
better than nothing.
I just
Better
feel like
than
they
nothing.
wouldn't go there because they want to be right there in that
Yeah, they
little,
like people to look at them. That's
Yeah.
part of children.
Well, you know,
and it's
I don't know
too
what the
far
answer
for
is.
them.
well, I almost ran over somebody the other day.
Me too. Well, we
And
have
I'm
three of
like,
us
"You
right
that's
here,
weird."
four that just,
Yeah.
it's really,
We probably kept.
when they jump out
Carol
between the
Dave long
cars.
enough.
That's just scary. Would you? I did that.
I'll mention it to the chief again, but I know what he's gonna say.
What?
He says, when you see it, call.
I call all the time.
Understood,
Constantly,
but,
yeah.
you know, he knows about it, but
Officer
I'll
Gray
mention
gave
it
me his
again.
cell phone number and I call him and, I'm
And,
like, they're back.
I actually
but,
called a
I
couple
mean,
of
and
times
they
to
got
slow
other
down.
things to do
Speeders on Main
too,
Street.
so, yeah.
I
And
told them,
abroad as well.
but they could be even on the back
Right.
streets.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't care if they were going up and down, Jefferson or
I pass by your house
Any of
every morning,
them.
go to work.
The problem, if they're in
I
the
always
road,
take
you
them
never
on the
know
road
when
to
there's a
work.
car,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And if they're
Did a
not
nice
out
job
there
with
in
the
the
driveway
morning.
entrance, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my New England look.
Yeah, yeah.
For a while, they were
That brand
going
you
in
see
front
up
of
in
cars real
front.
slow.
Thank you.
Like
I
making
done.
cars go
saw it
slow
years
behind
ago,
them.
and,
And last week I saw somebody just glare their horn out right in front of Raymond's.
Dignified driveway.
And it's that dark haired kid
You
too,
think
the
the rest
real
of it's
dark
still
hair.
stone?
I
Yeah,
saw
but you know
this,
what?
yeah, I know,
The
yeah.
quarry,
But
state
you know,
of Pennsylvania
he's
has
Sarah,
bought all of that stone.
Cooper's
in.
grandson.
Danny, it's a
Dude,
landscape.
I didn't know, I felt bad because I gave him that kid a hard time.
Who,
I
who's
got the name of it, it was sewn, and we can't
You
get
see,
it.
you see how he
That's her
decorated
grandson with the dark hair.
stone driveways with pavers
I
and
think
designs.
he's-
Smack
at
you.
least
And
it's
then I
not
cement
gonna
them
be-
into
He's
the
nice.
driveway and then bring those
He's
and
just-
put the stone around.
Oh, pretty.
And then I-
Wait,
Oh, we don't have a motion to
Every
approve,
time I
I'm
come
sorry.
back from
Yeah,
the
so-
beach, I
so-
come back
May I
with
have a
those shells
motion
and I-
to adjourn, please?
I'll make the motion to
The
adjourn.
old
I'll
school
second.
way, which is how it used to be. Okay.
Everybody
Yeah.
Is that thing
motioning to
I don't
adjourn.
think so.
Second
Someone
was
turn that
And
off.
those is-
Yeah, so I can take one last.
Okay, well,
Good night, all.
Good night,
thank you, David,
Carol,
thank you,
nice to see
Carol,
you.
thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
I gotta go home and eat some soup.